Hi guys, it's Jo Giffords here, and I wanted to jump on and do a quick live on this question. How long should it take to write a blog post? And I'm talking about this right now because we've just been having this discussion in one of my client groups, and one of my lovely clients is saying, hey, how long should this be taking me? So I want to talk through some of the ways in which I create blog posts, in which I teach my clients to create blog posts, and whether there is such a thing as should. So feel free to sort of jump on, ask me questions, say hi if you're here, and I'm just going to take a minute to make sure that I'm sharing this to my personal page. Right. Okay. So this depends on so many things, okay? It depends on whether you are someone who writes naturally, whether it's natural to you to create content through writing, or whether you are someone who finds it easier to jump on a live video, or if you prefer to record audio. There are so many ways you can start with a blog post, and working out a way that is easy for you will really help you with that process. So for example, if I'm approaching a long form post, like a long form, real sort of value add, deep dive post, I approach that one in a kind of an academic way, and I often use Airstory for that. So which is an app which will actually help you move around, some quotes and pieces of research, so that you can kind of map out where you are going. Hi Alice, lovely to have you here, darling. So I like to, my brain works in a way that I sometimes need to map things out. I have those big sheets of the sticky whiteboard stuff, and my tin of trusted Sharpies, which I'm going to show you my trusted Sharpies, which I like to go crazy on the wall and just write down the main headings that I want to cover. And I can then often photograph that and put it into Evernote and stuff. That's how I work. But I will often start off with that. And I've recorded a Facebook Live in the past of me actually going through that process. And then I'll jump into Airstory. This is if it's for a long value add post. And that process might take me 2 to 3 hours for a sort of 1,500 to sort of 2,000 words. And because my brain works in the way that I have to build in breaks, so I have to work in chunks. So I set my Pomodoro timer. There's a little app on Chrome that you can use, which will help you work in sort of 15-minute chunks, or just set it on your phone and just kind of break things up. I need to know that I'm doing things in small slices, right? I need to know that I'm creating a piece of that post, having a break and come back to it, have a break and come back to it. And it helps to slice it up, because I'm someone who gets overwhelmed really easily. So if I'm doing a long form post, that's what I would do. I'd map it out. I'd come back to Airstory or Google Docs and just type down the section headings, and then work on each section at a time in a really linear, calm way. And I have my focus music on from Spotify. I'd be really chilled in my approach to it. Now, I don't create long form epic posts all the time, right? That is something which I might sort of choose to do as a content upgrade post, or something when I want to have a real deeper dive into something. Shorter posts, so often, posts which I might write for clients, or a guest post, or shorter posts for my blog. I quite often create those by recording into my phone. And I do that either by using Dropbox, which is a brilliant app. I'm just going to show you that one on my phone. Dropbox is a way to record audio. I smeared phone. Is a way to record audio, and this goes straight to a dedicated folder in your Dropbox. So Dropbox to Dropbox. And I do that when I'm out on a walk. I'll do that when I'm driving the car. Sometimes if my phone is really safely mounted and I'm in a quiet traffic area, I will sometimes record as I'm going in. In fact, I think I shared with you guys a while ago that I recorded 3 blog posts on the way to sort of pick up my weekly shopping. Hi bro, lovely to see you, dude. So I will find a way to make that super, super smart. And then I have those transcribed. Now, I use rev.com to have those transcribed. You can also dictate straight into Rev app itself. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is Rev Recorder. Okay, and you'll see here some of the posts that I've already started on there's a Rev recorder. You can just click record and you can pause that as well, so you haven't got to come up with the whole thing all the time, and that will send your transcript straight over to Rev. And it's like $1 per minute to have that transcribed, and it will come back to you as a document that you can edit in Google Docs. So that part of it, for about say a 500-word blog post, might take me 5 minutes to record. 5 minutes. And then when the Google Doc comes back, I'll jump in there and I'll edit probably for like another 15 to 20. And then I'll go into my blog post and I'll format it. I'll add the pictures. I'll add any shares or call to actions I want. So around an hour. But I've now got that much faster. Guys, I've been blogging for a long, long time. And for the shorter posts, not the epic, really kind of SEO driven, super engaging long form ones, they take a long time. But for shorter posts, which I also include for myself and for my clients, they'll take a lot less. But here's the thing, there's no should. If it's taking you a little while, while you get started, that is totally fine. And often we find that when we're finding our voice, or we're creating content for your business, when you're doing that yourself, it can take a little while to really find how you love to sort of communicate. And here's the good news, the more you do that, the easier it becomes. And I love to kind of encourage my clients and my audience to make sure that they're creating content every single day, because the more that you download, the more that you are outputting, the easier it becomes to find your voice and to make it part of a daily habit. So whether you are downloading, publicly and you're doing like a micro blog on Instagram, or you're sharing something on Facebook or LinkedIn, or you're creating a post on Reddit, or posting on Medium, or even if you're just, journaling for yourself online, doing 500 words a day in Evernote or whatever, when you go through that process, it helps your brain to really synthesize all that information that you know and to help apply it for your clients. And that's a really sort of crucial part of the process, is that you're learning how to combine all your amazing knowledge that you already have, all the stuff that you know so well in your field, and to apply it to what your customers need. Really need to know in their business, right? So if you have any questions around this, feel free to post me a question and I can answer it. So, I'd love to hear as well what you get super stuck with when it comes to creating a post. Do you sit down and you're like, I'm not really quite sure how to format this. I'm not quite sure what people need to know. Because guys, I have a ton of free resources that I can send you in the comments below. So I'd love to hear in your own words as well what it is that really holds you back from pressing play, really, from getting started. Do you find it easy to kind of jump on a Facebook Live like I'm doing right now? And, so all I've done here is I've responded to a question. I thought about the last question that I was asked around, my industry and my niche. And that was, okay, how long should it take to write a blog post? That's something that I can answer in a live. I've jumped on and I'm sharing with you guys. I can then obviously turn this into a blog post. I can have it transcribed. I can embed it on my blog. I can share it on social. It's a really quick way to create some content. So I'd love for you to think about the last question that you were asked by someone who's an ideal client, or who is a client that would be of value to your audience, and think about how you can share that in a way that's easy for you. Because what I love to do with my clients is to make this stuff easy and to set up a workflow so that if you're someone who finds it super easy just to jump on a Facebook Live, that you can repurpose something like this, have a whole workflow that's working for you while you're off doing your amazing things, right? So if you are someone who is, for example, if you're like a personal trainer, right, and you don't have much free time because you are with your clients all the time, you're sort of back to back with your clients, right, and you're teaching classes, all that kind of stuff, you could do a really quick, sort of Q&A on a live stream on Instagram, on Facebook, even Periscope. Think about something that's going to have a real value add for your audience and record something in 5 minutes, and you can have that repurposed and working for you. I also have a really handy workflow which is set up with something called repurpose.io. So if you visit repurpose.io, I'm going to put this on here for you. Here we go. I could write the link here. So repurpose.io. The repurpose.io is a fantastic piece of kit that's still in beta, I think, but it sets up different streams to help tech do the heavy lifting for you. And again, if you are super short of time because you're with clients in the daytime, maybe you're running your business around your family, in fact, anyone, working smarter makes a lot of sense. So I've set this up so that every time I finish a live stream, the live stream right here on Facebook goes straight over to Dropbox, where it's going to be stored and where I can have transcripts done. It also gets shared straight to YouTube as a video that's created with the title, with all the stuff we need in there. And it also gets saved as an audio file. And it gets tweeted onto Twitter and shared on Facebook again. So all that stuff happens just by me ending this broadcast. So there's loads of stuff, if you hang with me, that you'll get to learn a lot of the stuff, which makes it so easy. So to go back to how long should it take to write a blog post? It takes as long as it takes, and you'll find it easier and faster when you work in a way that feels natural, to you. And that sometimes takes a little bit of experimentation. It sometimes takes a little bit of tweaking to know how you work best, to know how, I've got my website on here so you guys can find me, to know how you work in your zone of genius. You might be someone who can talk all day like I can, and you'll find it easy to, jump on a live or to sort of dictate what you're thinking and have that into a post. You might be someone that needs to have your coffee and a candle and to sit down and be in your space and create a post, and switch off from everything else and just really be in the moment and write it. That's fine. And when you find your own tone of voice, that's something which happens the more that you create content. And when you learn also to be really confident in all the stuff that makes your take on things really, special and unique, which is part of the process that I call the map and go. Oh, sorry, it's clicked my screen, where you really get in touch with, your approach on things, your expertise, your experience, your approach and your personality, and that lens through which you project information to your clients with confidence really helps you. Right. So unless you've got any questions, which I would love to hear, I'm all ears. I'm going to be diving off, and feel free to give me a shout if you found this really useful. If it's something that you've been struggling to, then just let me know in the comments below. So thank you so much everyone for being here. You can always find out more about me on joegifford.co, and I'll see you in the next broadcast. All right, guys.